Good morning, everyone. It is Bridget here, standing in Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, the home of healthy, delicious. Thank you for joining me on this, what is, if you're in the southern part of the hemisphere, the winter solstice. So today is the shortest day of the year. It is right in the middle of winter, and my goodness, does it feel like it? It's a little bit chilly today, so it's very fitting that I am in the kitchen, because I definitely don't want to be outside today. I think this is the best place for me. Thank you for joining me. If this is the first time that you are joining us here in Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, welcome, 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 welcome along. If you are a regular viewer, thanks for coming back. Now, the recipe that we're doing today, very cool recipe. I actually shared it online yesterday on Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. It was my Saturday share, and that is for the healthiest hash browns in the world. Don't care what anyone says, these are seriously healthy. And the recipe went completely nuts yesterday. So we've had well over 1,000 downloads on that recipe in 24 hours. So I know it's a popular one. So I thought it's a really good time for us to actually go through the recipe together. So you can see, I mean, there's just a couple little watch points, but they do definitely make all the difference when you are creating this healthy hash brown. And the reason why I wanted to create a healthy hash brown for us is because a lot of the hash browns out there today, and I'm talking about the ones you can purchase frozen and then cook yourself, or the ones you may purchase at a fast food establishment, they tend to be deep fried. Obviously they're made from potato, and the combination of potato, which is a simple carbohydrate, and the combination of that either being shallow fried in lots and lots of oil, or lots and lots of butter, and then, or deep fried, the combination of fat and really simple carbohydrate is literally a insulin hormonal bomb. It is not good for you, and it's not the sort of way that you want to start your day, because you're going to spike your insulin straight away, and when your insulin is high, remember that means that your ability to burn any fat has come to a complete and utter halt, and we don't want that. Whereas what we're creating today is low carb. So there's cauliflower instead of potato, and it's baked in the oven, or alternatively you can also bake it in the air fryer. So there is healthy ways to look at this. We are also fortifying it with dietary fiber, which is also really, really good. So let's get into the recipe. It is simple. Of course it involves cauliflower. Come on down to my bench. And apologies again if I'm not saying hi to anyone, because I still can't see your comments, but I know you're there this morning. So first thing we need to think about is I am going to be using fresh cauliflower with our hash browns today. So definitely fresh cauliflower. And you need about 500 grams, which is just over a pound of cauliflower. I went to the veggie shop early this morning. The cauliflower was gorgeous. $3.99 for a humongous cauliflower, which is exciting. So take up your florets, obviously weigh it off. You want that 500 gram mark. And 500 grams is perfect for the amount of other ingredients that we're going to be putting into our cauliflower hash browns today. So taking up your florets, definitely first. And what you want to do now, I'll start with this one. What you want to do now is you want to cut it nice and small, because we're going to be creating rice. And I thought to myself, should I show you guys how to make cauliflower rice? It's pretty obvious, but if you're new to this whole way of healthy living and healthy eating and looking after your insulin levels and all that sort of stuff, being mindful eating, then maybe you haven't approached cauliflower rice yet. So what you'll notice that I'm doing is I'm cutting it very evenly, and I'm cutting it very, very small. The easiest way to make cauliflower rice is to use one of these little machines. If you don't have one of these little machines, you will now grab yourself a big knife and you will chop like a person possessed, because you want to make it small, like grains of rice. But if you've got one of these machines, fantastic. An alternative to all of those things is you can also grate the cauliflower. Just be careful if you are grating, because you don't want to grate fingers, obviously. So you'll notice that I'm not overloading this machine, because we want the cauliflower rice to rice evenly. So you don't want it, like if I was to fill this up right to the top, that would just be a bit of a nightmare. So I'm doing it as in small little batches. take long. Cauliflower rice, perfect. So we're gonna whack that into a waiting bowl. Go back to it again. And you just keep on doing this action until, you know, and I'm still cutting it in the same sort of even, small pieces. You don't have to, this is the thing about cauliflower rice. You know, whether you're doing this, by the way, you could also, if you're making broccoli rice for dinner, is you don't have to, and this is kind of what we're used to doing, is we're used to, you know, taking off the florets like that, and that's not even, because you can already see that that's really big and that's really small, so they're gonna chop unevenly, whereas we want to be as even as possible. So take that little bit of time. It's almost like you're making a little cauliflower steak. That's what you're after. That is definitely better. So around about just under halfway. Just like that. There we go. Lovely cauliflower rice. If you want to do this in advance, you can actually make these hash browns. Like say if you're hosting a special brunch at home, or you might even just be wanting to pre-prepare them, so you've always got these, because they can be frozen in their raw state once you've actually molded them into whatever shape you want as a hash brown. So they can be frozen in advance, because it does definitely work. But I gotta say, fresh is always best. And it's not that difficult. It's not that time consuming. You know, if you are doing a special breakfast on the weekend, it's not that time consuming for you to just make your rice, especially if you've got one of these little machines. I love this machine. It is I just bought it a couple days ago, and I absolutely adore it. It is such a, you can see, it makes short work of everything. I just think it's brilliant. So if you've got one of those little machines, then man, you're never too far away from a bit of cauliflower rice. All right, have a bit of a clean up. We're going to start to add the ingredients in here, and as I said, we're going to fortify our cauliflower rice or our hash browns. We're going to fortify it with some wonderful bits and pieces to make it even healthier, because there's cauliflower on its own. You know how spectacularly healthy cauliflower is. So let's increase the benefits of this particular hash brown. So I'm going to add 2 eggs in here. Obviously there's some really good protein we've got in the eggs. The egg yolks has healthy fats. Do not be, if you've heard people say, oh, we shouldn't eat eggs because they're too fattening, you know, tell that person to leave your vicinity immediately. There is good fats in egg yolk. So we've only got 2 in there, so it's not even like you put a whole load of fat in there. You give it a bit of a mix. I'm using my spatula. I find it way easier. So as well as that, see, we're going to do the fortifying now, and one of the ways that we fortify that is we're going to add some psyllium husks in there. So psyllium husks, if you've never seen it or never heard of it, you can purchase psyllium husks from a really good supermarket. And psyllium husk is literally fiber. So this is going to help to keep things moving through your gut, which is really, really important. But also, psyllium husks have this amazing gelling ability. So they're going to help to hold our hash browns together, because the last thing you want is to make a hash brown and then it goes and crumbles on you, right? Because that's not cool. So I'm adding, oh, I added too much. That was supposed to be 1 teaspoon. Wow, these are going to be really gelling together. 1 teaspoon, and was that right, Bridge? Yeah, no, I was right, 2 teaspoons. Jesus, she doesn't even know her own recipe. I'm going to add a bit more. It's 2 teaspoons, 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of psyllium husks to 500 grams of cauliflower, which is 1.1 pounds of cauliflower. All right, as well as that, let's add some flavor. Got to have some flavor in there. And we're going to do that by adding some seasoning. I'm adding a teaspoon of mineral salt is going in there, and a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper as well can go in there. I'm going to keep that ability for this to be binding together. I'm going to continue with that theme. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm also going to be adding in some xanthan gum. Now, xanthan gum, if you think about the word gum, it does exactly that. It helps to keep everything together and everything binded really nicely. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of xanthan as well. Let's continue with that flavoring theme. And I'm going to be adding in a couple of tablespoons of this stuff here, which is nutritional yeast. Now, if you've never seen nutritional yeast before, I suggest you do a bit of a Google search so you know what you're looking for. It looks like that, yeah? That's nutritional yeast. So it is deactivated yeast, so it's completely different from brewer's yeast or from yeast you use when you make bread. It has a very almost like nutty parmesan type flavor to it. So adding it in here is absolutely fabulous, because what we're doing is we're adding in so much flavor with that nutritional yeast. And nutritional yeast is, think about the word, nutritional. It is packed with B vitamins, so really good for us. So give all this a bit of a mix. So we've got our eggs, we've got our xanthan psyllium, yeah, we've got lovely flavors in there, seasoning, you know, from the nutritional yeast, and then it's just a matter of you mushing it all together. Like I said, I like to use my plastic spatula for this. It just seems to really get in there, and you're folding and you're mixing, and what you're looking for when you're doing this is that everything is well combined, so the egg is really well mixed in as well. I did have someone, I think, ask me yesterday whether there is an option for no egg, so for people who are allergic to eggs or who are vegan. What you can do, and your hash browns will be a little bit crumblier than what mine are, but what you can do is you can add in there, instead of the eggs, I would add in 2 tablespoons of sticky sauce, Bridget sticky sauce, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of water. And you still want to attempt to get that sort of bind from your vegan or vegetarian or non-egg version as well. Give that a bit of a try. You're going to have so much flavor in your hash browns because you've added sticky sauce, so it's gonna be fabulous. Gotta be fabulous. Okay, all right, so that's the mixture done. Let's think about molding it. So I'm using a baking sheet. By the way, I have my oven preset on 190 degrees Celsius, which is 390 degrees Fahrenheit. With the baking sheet, because we're going to be molding onto it, I always like to put down just a little bit of cooking spray, and then I'm going to line my baking sheet with baking paper. The reason why I've added that cooking spray is because I want it to stick. Because then it's going to be so much more easier to mold this into the shapes that you want. So I am using this here, which is my cookie cutter or mold, and it's up to you what you use. You can actually even mold these by hand. Now if you wanted to mold them by hand because you don't have any type of shape, you know, you could do triangles, you could do rectangles. Obviously I'm doing a circle, but if you don't have anything that you can use to mold your hash browns, the alternative is get a little bowl, put some water in here, and just very lightly wet your fingers, and then using your hands you're going to mold it into whatever shape you want. But this works really, really well. So I'm using one of those, I'm grabbing myself up a tablespoon, and I'm going to be adding into my mold around about 2 tablespoons of the mixture, and then holding onto the mold and using my spoon, I'm pushing down and kind of evening it all out, and essentially what I'm creating is a lovely round hash brown. Can you guys see that? Can you see? Oh, can you see that? Can you see that? I'm not sure if you could see that before. So that's what you're after. Around, depending on the size of your mold, will determine how many tablespoons that you need to put in there. But I find with this size mold, and it's a good size hash brown as well, it is a really, really good size hash brown, I get to put 2 tablespoons in, give it a bit of a smush down on the edges, and you get these really, really cool shapes. It is fabulous. It looks like you've done a lot more work, right? You're like, wow, how did you do that? Especially if it's homemade. You can also, if you want them a little bit flatter, because you've got those binding agents in there of the xanthan and the psyllium husks, there's nothing stopping you from just, you know, making them a little bit flatter as well. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with them being high. So keep going until you've used up all your mixture. You're going to get, depending on the size of your mold, you're going to get 6, 8, maybe even 10 if you've got really small ones. But you want to aim for around about 6 to 8 hash browns is definitely what this mixture can handle. So once you've done all that, I forgot one step. Naughty. This is actually a really important step, because this is going to get the color in your hash browns. before you put your hash browns on the tray, you want to take a little bit of oil. I'm using avocado oil. You can use coconut oil as well, and then just taking a little pastry brush, brush the paper. This is, like I said, this is what's going to help to give you, because you don't want an anemic looking hash brown. That's just nasty. You actually want a hash brown that looks golden and delicious, and it looks like it could even have gone in the fryer, but you don't need to, because we don't need to do that. So definitely start with that. Apologies that I didn't do that. I completely forgot, and it's actually quite an important step, is that we brush that first. And then before your tray full of hash browns goes into the oven, we're going to take a little bit more of that oil. Remember, it's a good quality oil. It's a good healthy oil that we're using. A good healthy fat. I would stay away from sunflower, canola, vegetable oils. Yuck, yuck, yuck. It's all toxic. It's bad for your gut health. It is bad for, it just basically fills your body full of toxins. That's why I say how unhealthy the pre-made hash browns are, because they don't care what oil they put in there. Honestly, they don't care, and they don't realize the toxins that are in vegetable oils. Whereas coconut oil, avocado oil, and even olive oil, just don't do extra virgin, because you'll ruin it, is going to give you a healthy hash brown, which is what this is all about. As you guys know, we're into the healthy stuff. So fill up your tray, off to the oven you go. Obviously your oven is nice and hot, 190 degrees, which is 390 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is now going to cook in the oven for between 30 to 35 minutes. Now the reason I'm not giving you an exact count of how long is because every oven is different. If you go to your oven after 30 to 35 minutes and you go, I like mine a bit brown, just leave them in for a little bit longer. Or if your oven is quite a hot oven, you might find that they get done between 30 minutes. So keep an eye on it, and after that your time is done, you are rewarded with a tray. Look, aren't they perfect? I mean, there's no way that you would look at that and not say, breakfast is on. They're fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic. And they are firm and they hold together well. They're not crumbling. I know some people have attempted to make cauliflower hash browns before, and they just don't hold together. So these are perfectly held together. So much so, as I was saying, that these can be frozen and then defrosted when you're ready to eat them. When you are freezing, if you are freezing a tray full of hash browns, just make sure that you're putting a little bit of non-stick baking paper in between the hash browns so they don't stick together in the freezer as one big lump. So you can totally do that as well. So I want to show you guys how I would then present this, because next level. Okay, are you ready? Right, this is how I would present. If you were coming to my house for breakfast, and I so wish you were, this is what I would serve to you. I would definitely make cauliflower hash browns, because breakfast is still one of my favorite meals to cook of the day. I love cooking breakfast, and this is how I would cook you breakfast. Is I would get a plate. Oh, I can't see that. Bridge, they can't see. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to adjust. There, now you can see. You can see? Yeah, cool. Trying to adjust myself correctly. So this is how I would serve you breakfast. And for a lot of people, actually, this could be the last sort of unsupervised meal that you have for the next 4 weeks, because a lot of people are starting on my 28-day meal plan tomorrow. Quite a few of you, and there's quite a huge amount of people that are doing that on our private, who are going to do it together on our private group, Bridget's Healthy Kitchen Family, and they're going to be supporting each other. So this might be the way that you can go out with a bit of a bang, because this is definitely not on the 28-day meal plan. Not that it's not healthy, it's just because I only started cooking these a couple days ago. So that's the only reason it's not on the plan, even though it's super healthy. So here we go. If you're coming to my house, especially if you're starting the 28-day meal plan tomorrow, this is what I would make for you. So I would start with a base of this wonderful cauliflower hash brown. And then on my table here, I've got some exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. I've got a little bit of sugar-free mayonnaise, sugar-free mustard, which, by the way, I love. I love more than anything. This is the Dijon, it is to die for. It's a French mustard, obviously sugar-free, that's, otherwise I wouldn't be using it. And it's just got the most mild and wonderful flavour. So I would start like that. Remember, this is for you. I'll start like that. And then I would take up either some turkey breast, roasted turkey breast, or maybe some roasted chicken. I am using turkey breast today, so I would take that up as well and give you a couple slices of this amazing turkey breast. Gorgeous, and it is just turkey. It's not some. Be careful when if you are purchasing things like this, because sometimes, and I just find it so rude. Sometimes, if you're buying it in a pre-packaged, make sure you check the package, because sometimes they will have gluten and sugar and stuff. It's basically turkey meat or chicken meat that they've made into a loaf and then sliced. Whereas this I got from a deli and is just literally straight off the turkey breast. So a couple of slices of that. You could also use bacon if you're that way inclined. And then here's something I made earlier. The perfect, look at that. Isn't that the perfect, lovely little egg is going to go on there as well. And I'm going to finish it off with this stunning in there. I have, and let me know, please let me know if you would like to see me do this recipe. It is, in that little bowl there, I have some homemade mayonnaise or homemade aioli. It will take you a minute to make. I can teach you to make that. That is literally just egg yolks. There is lemon juice, and then I've used a healthy fat, which is that avocado oil, and check that out. Isn't that absolutely stunning? If you would like to for me to show you guys how to make that, please let me know. Mahi will tell me. Just let me know if you want to see that, because this is to die for, because then you go like that. Yeah? Oh yeah! Oh, happy days! Oops, look, had to lick my finger.
Over and eat it, look.
What's that?
A lot of people want to come over and eat.
They want to come over. You want to come for breakfast? 100%. All right. Let's just finish it off. I'll make you 2 of these, and this is better than anything you can buy at a fast food restaurant, because this is health, this is delicious, and stay, perfect. I would make you this. This is my turkey and egg McMuffin with cauliflower hash. Perfect, right? Absolutely perfect, with homemade aioli or homemade mayonnaise in there, and a little bit of mustard so you get that wonderful bite. Look, if you can have dairy, I would even throw in a slice of really good quality cheese in there as well, and let it just melt ever so slightly. So that's what I'd make for you if you're coming to my house.
Yes, they do want to.
Okay, I've just got the call that you'd like me to show you how to make it. It is so simple. I know a lot of people think that it's really difficult to make. It's not difficult to make. It is really, really easy to make that. And I can even show you guys, if you want, this is just a thought, how to make the perfect round eggs. Like, look at it. It is the perfectly round egg. You know, it's got none of the scraggly little sides. There's actually a technique to that. And if you want me to show you that, I'll happily show you that too. Especially if you're having people over for lunch or brunch and you want to really show off your cooking skills. This is how you do it. So there you go, guys and girls. And if we've got any kids watching this morning, this will be a nice treat if you're thinking about making something for someone who's at maybe breakfast in bed. Absolutely wonderful. So thank you for joining me today. If you're starting the 28-day meal plan tomorrow, good on you. Good on you. This is the Gut Set meal plan. It's 28 days of eating fabulous, which is so incredibly good. Join us on Bridget's Healthy Kitchen family. If you're not already a member, on Wednesday we will be having our very first live group chat. And that is the topic's going to be the 28-day meal plan, because there's so many of you that are starting it tomorrow. So for all of you that are starting it tomorrow, I will put out a link of how and it's only going to happen on our group, our live chat. My job is just to facilitate. You guys can meet each other, well, virtually, have a bit of a chat, ask any questions that you want to do with our 28-day meal plan. If you're not on the 28-day meal plan, you can still join our group anyway, because it's first in, first served when it comes to that going live on Wednesday night. So looking forward to our chat, looking forward to seeing you guys back here in Bridget's Healthy Kitchen again. I hope you enjoy the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. It's all downhill towards the warmth from this point onwards, which is so exciting for us sun-loving folk. All right, guys, enjoy your day wherever you are in the world. Please be safe, please be well, and we'll see you guys here real soon in Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. Take care.